Hey everyone, Carnivore Mark here, coming back at you with my blood test results. So I have good news and bad news. All right, the good news is I was able to get my blood test results back. The doctor was actually very happy. The bad news, 2 points of bad news. Number one, I didn't actually get to go through the whole, cholesterol thing, with her, which I guess is maybe a good thing. We shouldn't be looking to argue with people, but the blood test results that I do have back are they basically prove, even just what they are, that my heart is super healthy right now. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. Um, but yeah, I tell you, here's what happened. I went to the doctor and she said, "Hey, I have good news and bad news, right?" So we went ahead, we did your blood work, and all those specialized tests, specialty tests that you asked me to do, I got back. And by the way, they're looking really good. And let's go through them. And then we did. She said, and the standard ones, like the metabolic panel and all those sorts of things. She's like, those something happened, so I apologize, but we need to draw some more blood work and do those again. We need to redo them. I said, okay, you know what? No problem. I've got the blood in me. Let's go, doc. So we went ahead and did that. So did that urine sample, whatever. So we're gonna see, what comes of that. But that said, I wanted to go ahead and get the blood results here in front of you. All right. So here are the tests we're looking at, right? So here's what did come back. So I got the C-peptide, C-reactive protein, homocysteine, phosphorus, the sedimentation, the ESR rate, my insulin levels, and magnesium. Now, not everybody knows what these are about or what they do. So I'm going to kind of go through them a bit just to make sure that you have a good understanding of what it is that we're looking at, so you can ask for these tests and have a good idea of what it is that you're asking for. That said, I also highly recommend downloading Dr. Canberry's ebook, which is Common Sense Labs. Amazing, phenomenal ebook. Gives you lots and lots of information. I mean, I'm going to kind of bullet point, like broad view, what these are about, but I definitely recommend picking that book up. And also, there's that free download by High Intensity Health for the lab work that he likes to get done as well. And I just did a little combination of the two. All right, so that said, let's go ahead and dive in. So let's look at the C-peptide. So what is that about? So the C-peptide, oh, I'm going to hop my own, there we go, make my head float a little bit higher. Perfect. Okay, so with the C-peptide, I'm at a 1.7, and the range is 1.1 to 4.4. So what is C-peptide? That's basically, when they measure that, that is it's like a picture of your blood sugar management. It's going to be higher up the scale if you're having problems that are going to be looking like pre-diabetic, or moving into your diabetes and those sorts of things. So mine is it's pretty low, so I'm looking good there. Next up is the C-reactive protein. So C-reactive protein, that checks your heart and cardiac. Here it's specifically for the heart. Checks for inflammation in your body. It checks your risk of heart disease. So what is that? That is at 0.49. As you can see off to the lower right there, it says that my relative risk for future cardiovascular event is low. So low, it's not even half of that low number there. So it's 0.49. It's definitely under the 1, out of a range of 0 to 3. All right, so this one did have me, a little concerned, which was my homocysteine levels. So it looks like it's at a 14.8. Reference range is 0 to 14.5. There are multiple things that can affect this. The doctor said, based on the rest of what she's seen so far, she wouldn't worry about it at all. Because what it is higher homocysteine levels over time can indicate or lead to heart health issues. But she said, but the rest of your lab results prove that you don't have any heart issues, so I wouldn't worry about that at all. She's like, have you been like anxious or stressed out about anything lately? So yeah, I've actually had a lot going on. I'm not gonna share these videos, but I don't know, maybe we'll touch on things. Whatever, we'll see. I mean, I'm a realistic guy, but I had things that I was dealing with, and when you have stressors like that, that can negatively impact your absorption of things like vitamin B6, B12, folic acid. So apparently those things that I've been dealing with have been giving me a hard time with absorbing that, but not too much of a hard time because I'm right at the range. She says she usually sees like 18 or higher. I mean, that's not good, especially to say I usually see. All right, not great. But anyway, she said, don't worry about that. Said, okay. So we're going to move on to the phosphorus levels. Phosphorus levels are at 3.1. The reference range is 2.8 to 4.1. The phosphorus test is basically checking to see, because basically, okay, so phosphorus builds strong bones, teeth. It's important for nerve signaling, the ability to signal from your brain to your muscles for muscle contraction. So basically, your phosphorus levels, if you have healthy phosphorus levels, then that means your body is able to communicate properly with yourself. So like your brain is sending the right signals to the rest of your body. So my level there is 3.1, right smack dab in the middle of a healthy range, 2.8 to 4.1. All right, so now let's check out my sedimentation rate. Sedimentation rate Westergren, that is ESR test. So what is that about? Sedimentation rate is checking for inflammation and checking for infection levels. So is your body fighting something? Is your body inflamed? So I'm not crazy about bees, and there's just one kind of flying around me right now. Okay, anyway, I had quite an experience with bees when I was younger. I'm still getting that out of my mind. I don't think this is the kind of bee that is aggressive, but anyway. Okay, let's get back to it. So the sedimentation rate checks for inflammation, levels of inflammation in your body. So we're talking arterial inflammation. We're talking, things that can lead to problems there and infections. I'm at a 2 out of 15. Pretty darn low. Apparently, from what I understand, it's like impossible or near impossible to have 0 unless you just live in a bubble and there's absolutely nothing in the world that can affect you. But I walk around, I run around, I'm outside every day. So that's really, really low for all the exposure to stuff that I've had, especially here in New Jersey, where the temperature is fluctuating 30 to 40 degrees daily. Let's see. Yesterday, it was 39 degrees in the morning, and then it was like 76 degrees in the afternoon. Then it cooled down to like a 40 something this morning. So lots of people, are getting sick in the area, and I've been around a lot of people, and it's not affecting me. So that's super, super awesome. I did, wind up having a stomach bug a couple weeks ago, but that was coming past. And that is one time I was sick all year long since starting Carnivore. And usually I'm sick several times a year. So that was really, really exciting. I was excited that I was sick because it only happened once. So I was pretty happy about that. All right, so now let's check out the my insulin level. So insulin is at 6.6, and the reference range is 2.6 to 24.9. Of course, that is blood sugar regulation. That's what the insulin is check is testing for. Of course, I haven't had any sugar or carbs in over a year, with the exception of communion. So we do a small little piece of bread or wafer and a little bit of communion juice. But that's it. That's all the sugar and carbs I have all month. And the rest of any glucose or blood sugar that my body's dealing with is the gluconeogenesis, the glucose that my body's making on its own. So the insulin is doing a fine job of regulating that. It's consistent, it's steady, it's low. So I'm not making the hormone insulin go crazy in any kind of way. And that's leading to the rest of my health. And last but not least, we have the magnesium check. So what is that? So that tells you how are your kidneys doing. Are they functioning properly? Um, are they experiencing difficulty in any of their processes, and not just the kidneys, but your gastrointestinal tract as well. If your magnesium levels are off or out of range, then you might be developing or have developed gastrointestinal issues as well as kidney issues. Well, my range is right smack dab in the middle at 1.9 and a reference range of 1.6 to 2.3. So that looks like everything is fantastic there. Um, as you may know if you've been following my videos, I started this off with a gastrointestinal issue, major one, where I was dealing with stomach paralysis, among other things that we haven't quite figured out or diagnosed. And I was unable to eat. I was full and starving at the same time because nothing was actually moving through my system. So it was, my body was starving for nutrition, but I felt full. And I was on my bed. I couldn't move for days, which turned into weeks, which turned into like, a month. Then I was like, you know what, this is, I got to try something extreme to fix this. So what's more extreme than the thing that everyone's afraid of? And that is the idea of going carnivore. And so I said, okay, well, let me look into studies. Let me see what's going on. I'm going to do it anyway because I'm dealing with an extreme circumstance, an extreme situation. So let me see if I can figure out, just do something extreme. It's either going to fix it or it's going to kill me. That was literally my approach. And all the science that I saw said it's going to fix me. So I said, all right, I'm going to trust things. And if it doesn't work, my faith is that I'm going to be with God. The Bible says that to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. So, hey, God, if this doesn't work, here I come. Maybe earlier than planned, but here I come. And as it turns out, jumped on carnivore. Within the first couple of days, I already started seeing results. I was able to move around. I was able to walk around, something I hadn't been able to do in over a month. I was able to my digestive process regulated within the week. And then within like 2 weeks after that, I started going to the gym for the first time in years. My back pain issues were resolving. I could go down a whole list. I already did in other videos, but I mean, when you've been experiencing that stuff for over 20 years, you're going to be happy about it. You're going to be excited. You're going to be talking about it. So anyway, let me go ahead and leave you with that. Hopefully this encourages you if you are worried about your blood work and what the carnivore diet is doing or ketogenic diet is doing to your blood. I've been doing basically a bunch of butter. I mean, I eat like half a stick of butter a day, like a dozen. A dozen eggs typically within a 2-day period. So like half a dozen a day. I'll like do like 6 eggs scrambled, eggs, kind of a thing, or like a little omelet or something. I do a ton of beef, like 95% of what I eat is from beef. That's basically all I eat, that with some salt. So doing that for over a year, lots of fat, as much fat as I can get, as much fat as I can eat. And you know what that's doing? That's making me so healthy that all of the markers show that I have little to no heart health risk. And it shows that I'm going to be living for quite some time. All right, that said, I have a nerdy video coming up in the next few days. We're going to do a deep dive into this, which is LDL-C does not cause cardiovascular disease, a comprehensive review of the current literature. So I'm going to definitely do a digging into that. And the information there is just absolutely incredible. Dives into historical evidence as to how cholesterol works, how it works for you, how it is not against you, and that it is okay to have high cholesterol levels. Matter of fact, we're going to show you and demonstrate how people with the highest cholesterol levels live the longest. They're the ones who make it to 100 years old, the centenarians. And that the people who have had the lowest levels of cholesterol have tended to die a little earlier of cardiovascular disease, so like in their 60s, 70s, and that sort of thing. So it was very interesting there. Also, it's very important because I got some comments as far as, well, I had high cholesterol and I had a heart attack. I'm not saying that things stop there. I'm saying it's a problem that the doctors stop there when they talk to you about cholesterol. So they'll tell you about, oh, you have high LDL, you have high HDL. Okay, but the real problem is not that. It is the ratio between the HDL and the triglycerides. Because when your triglycerides are up, then you're going to have damage and oxidation and glycation to those LDL particles that are going to mess things up and cause chain reactions that ultimately lead to atherosclerosis and those sorts of things. But aside from that, if your triglycerides are down, then it is super healthy to have higher HDL and LDL levels. So that said, I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys go. This video has been long enough. There is going to be a part 2 when I do get the metabolic panel in, which is going to show, of course, my own HDL, triglycerides, LDL, that kind of stuff. So I'm dying to see that. I can't wait till that comes in, and we're going to do a part 2 with that. If you have any questions, just pop them below. Ask me anything. If I don't have the answer, I will point you to someone who does, or I'll research it and let you know myself. I'm not just out here to talk and to say stuff. I'm here because I got healthy and I want to help you get healthy too. I am not a doctor. I'm just a regular guy. I work an office job during the day. I teach guitar lessons on night and on the weekends. But if I'm able to find this stuff out, I'm happy to share that with you so that you can know it too. And I don't want to just give my opinion. I have opinions, but I want to make sure that everything that I give you is solid fact. So that's why I'm bringing up the studies as well. That's it. Be safe, be healthy, eat meat. God bless.